losing the first 2 world title fights, but in the time and reputation, he still gave it to me. Now my man's got 30, 40 other fighters that he's got to take care of, he's got to lift, he's got to inspire. He's got a reputation of all the good work he's done, but he's still wasting his time on me. Now, if that doesn't deserve loyalty, respect, and appreciation, you're a dog.
You just like throwing it in his face.
Yeah, of course, you're a dog. And to me, it don't work like that. And so,
13th for final round.
Yeah.
In collaboration with Boxers Need, we're back again.
Oh, come on, don't bother.
I've just been speaking to Kimmy. Kimmy, you've been watching this show, listen to me. I will pick the phone up. You got me. These boys locked me down now. So you're working with Boxers in Need, and there's big things ahead. So you'll find it's 2026. We'll find out what's going on.
Nice.
Listen, he likes us, and it takes us a long time to look it out. So, if you don't like it, you'll never get hold of it.
I'd like everybody.
Can I say Happy New Year to Johnny? Because we try.
I'm birthday.
I'm birthday as well. So we got him now.
Is this the last year in your 50s?
Is it?
Man, yeah.
How old are you?
I'll be 60 next year.
Jeez, I'm
60 next.
I remember I went to your 30. 40 for
yeah,
birthday
40.
party.
I'm going to do the same again. I'll do the same again.
How long
Big black tie,
How long have I known you?
man.
I've known you since 1995. How old have you been back then?
Do the maths. We're talking 95. I'd have been 18.
Wow.
Young boy, young boy, little Johnny, man.
Yeah, 18.
You know you gave me my first job.
Really? What was
I
that?
keep telling you that. York Races.
Oh, of course, with Constant Security back in the day. Mick Lee,
Me, Junior, Isham all went down to that. That was funny.
So Constant Security used to sponsor a lot of the guys.
Sorry guys, let me move Johnny's mic to the middle maybe.
Yeah.
We'll keep that rolling. This is the other part of the 30 final round. Say hello to them.
Happy New Year, come on.
Constant Security used to come down, and Brendan always used to try and get the boys jobs and everything at the race courses, stewards and stuff like that. And there was a guy back in the day, you two guys are too young, his name was Mick Kane. Mick Kane used to be a bad man fighter, and he was one of the first ones working for Mick Lee at Constant Security. And Mick Lee, good guy, very good guy, nice fella. He sponsored Harold Graham back in the day, give me a job. Well, it wasn't really a job. He said turn up to work, and he just do a little bit, stand there, got paid so I can fight as well. A really lovely man. Him and his wife Christine, and then it went on. You were employed. Did you do Constant Security?
No, I didn't.
He came years after me.
I came after him. I took the bedroom of his.
So
Did you?
Yeah, where Julia lived.
Yeah.
The first one up.
Did you live in Julie's house?
Yeah,
Julie.
I lived with Julie for 4 years.
Yeah, that's the same bedroom.
How?
No heater.
You know Julie's nickname was Stinky, don't you?
Yeah.
His nickname was Stinky.
Me and Sid had to clean the house top to
You
bottom.
have no idea. Junior, I'm glad Junior's married now.
Yes, you can take it. His nickname was Stinky. So what happened is he trained, and then his thing of sweat up,
Like
he's taking and squeezed out the sweat, and put it on the radiator, and then come back next day, put it on, and so boom, you can see the smoke like Charlie Brown. Yes, Stinky.
And the bandages as well. The bandages,
Yes, the Junior. But when we went to training camp in Gran Canaria, everybody's fighting saying, I'm not sharing a room with Junior, and I always got dumped with him. But you know what? He's changed. No, he's not changed. He's still the same guy, but he's a nice guy. I get Junior.
He talks more now, though.
He didn't talk very much before.
When I lived with him, he didn't say out, and people thought he was ignorant. But
he used to be on computer all the time, just stuck in his room, shut down.
No, he was in the living room.
I just think Junior he seems to be antisocial, but he's comfortable in his own environment, and I've always liked Junior. And so when it was me sharing a room with him all the time. I actually didn't mind because I could take the piss, so it was kind of funny.
You know what it is as well. I appreciate the last bit of the Ingles gym. Obviously, I didn't get the full version with the Nas and everybody, but I got a little bit when I came. And got a little bit and
bit of magic.
Went to Gran Canaria and get the experience. I appreciate that, man.
It's like a human jungle.
And I also appreciate you give me that weighted vest. I still got it.
Have you still got it?
Reebok was bad.
Yeah. So what we do is we'd part of the training, like you do the shadow boxing, it'd be a weighted vest. You'd put have weights in your hands. They'd be hitting the heavy bag now. I think Dominic sells those bags to everybody. I think Anthony Joshua's bought the big heavy bag.
Are they all gone?
No, he's got some more. He's got a new breeding, and so it was just to make sure your punch was solid. But when people would walk in and hit the bag accidentally on purpose,
Them bags were hard, man. Yeah.
Good
Them
days.
bags were rock hard.
Good days.
Listen, we've got a lot to talk about in regards to what you just brought with Brendan. Like you came after, but I was there.
Yeah.
In the
Nas days.
the Nas days and the energy. And you know what? As a kid there, I did appreciate it. When I look back at it now, I appreciate it even more. When I look back at it now and I see the situation with Nas and Brendan, I see it from all different aspects. I've swung in roundabouts. I've swung where I thought Nas was right, I thought Brendan was right. And then I realised it's not really about right and wrong. It's like a relationship with a wife. You know, they've got their opinion, you've got your opinion, but it's perspective where you come from. Does that make sense? So I went because you did that interview last week, and it's on everyone's tongues. Everyone's asking about it. Even they get KG. Do you know who KG is?
Yeah.
KG was talking about it. He was on WhatsApp with me, and when I was there, seeing it unfold, obviously. I'm looking up to Nas. The reason I went to that gym in the first place was Nas. It wasn't Brendan, it was Nas. He was on TV doing well. When I got there and then I got around Brendan, I saw Brendan's genius. And Brendan is a genius. When I think about the trainers now, when I think about society now, when I think about culture now, there's not any trainers like that in the left. People that... Life coach.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things that I do in my life now come from Brendan, even now. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Life skills, in general. You don't teach you boxing, you teach about life in general, and just being nice to people as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, look, Brendan, even after Nas, went on to have several world champions, several champions.
Yeah.
So Brendan had a genius.
Yeah, he did, and that's what I'm saying. Brendan's like the film Giant. I think it was a great film because it shone the light on a jungle that only one certain kind of circus master could master that place, and that was Brendan. People have an impression that it all started there with Nas. It started many years ago, and so to me, I liked it because it shone a light on what Brendan had created, and I don't believe will ever be created again in my lifetime anyway, because he understood people. He studied people, and the study of people. We all do it in some way, shape or form. I do it when I go to London. I'll sit down and I'll just watch all the cars driving by and people walking. I'm thinking, where are you going? What do you do? And that's what we do. We're tourists, man. So, but Brendan, he got it. He got people's characters.
You saw things that people didn't.
He saw something in me,
Mm.
and I'm thinking, what? I didn't even see.
That's a gift.
And then you recognise it. I'm like, all right, I get it now. And that's probably, I suppose it's like, you look at the football, look at Sir Alex Ferguson. And Sir Alex Ferguson had assistant trainers, assistant coaches. So he'd make him do certain aspects with the team. They're all of the same all the time. And so when he did that, but he had the credit for it because he understood who to put who where. I want you to work on that with him. So therefore, the assistant coaches, even though they were doing a great job, they were doing a job that were directed by the brains. And that's what Brendan was. Brendan understood. He understood people. He understood how to get the best out of everybody. Because some people you had to shout them. Some people you had to leave them alone.
Managing.
Yeah. And his management skills were mad, absolutely mad. And many times I'd be with him, and we'd go to the sauna. And there'd be police inspectors, judges, builders, unemployed. And Brendan would be talking to them all like, and he'd have them eating out the palm of his hand. He got them and they got him. And I'd be sat there thinking, I'm with him, man. I'm with him, man.
He was teaching something there.
Yeah, and I felt very proud. I felt very proud to be with and around him.
I say what I want to do today is I want to get a little bit of more. We get it because we were there. I get Brendan, I get Nas, I get the situation. A lot of people watching the movie, looking into it, they were asking questions like, they're not quite sure. They're almost like people are put you in that position like when Muhammad Ali was, when Lennox was around and Mike Tyson was around, whose side are you going to choose? No, for Mike Tyson, I want Mike Tyson to understand. They put you in that situation where you got to choose. I choose no one's side. I just understand that it's not as simple as people are saying it is.
Making it out as.
I did a little bit of maths, all right? So I sat down, it was £3.50, right? So it was £3.50 a week, right? So £3.50, all right? You times that by 6 days a week, right? That works out to £21, all right? So then you go £21 a week, times that by 4 weeks in a month.
5, yeah.
So that's £84 a month. And then you want to times that by 17 years, all right? That works out to 1,400, which is nothing, all right? So me as a personal trainer, to get me for 1 hour of your time, it would be £40. So if I said £40, because let's get it right, Brendan Ingle was a world-class trainer, right? £40, you times that by 6, that works out to £240. You take £240, you times it by 4, it works out to £960 a month, right? That's roughly 1,000. Times that by 17 years, it's a lot of money. You know what I mean? You think of where I'm going with this, so it's like, the reason I do that analogy is, in life, you pay with time or you pay with money. And now I'm at the other side. When I was doing it, I thought I can understand Naz's perspective, 25%, 10%, 35%. I get it. I can get Naz's perspective. But as a trainer now, a lot of the guys I work with at the start of their boxing career, when they come to me, they can't afford really to pay the prices that I pay the general public for S&C and nutrition. So I'm put in a position where I have to say to them, like, first 4 or 5 fights, you're going to get it for next to no. You're going to learn a lot. But when that another 2 runs off, and you've got pretty much everything you need from me, I'm relying on you to have a little bit of loyalty to remember the situation here, right? But they could cut you off, take it and run. And I'm not naming names.
That's a risk.
I'm not naming names, but there's trainers, there's fighters we know that just go with a trainer, they get beat, they go with the next trainer, get beat, go. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it takes a bit of loyalty. What I loved about what you said last week, coming from your perspective, is, and I love Naz, right? But it's the loyalty factor of remembering how it all started. Why I was frustrated by the whole situation with Brendan and Naz is they were both so good at what they did.
Yeah.
And if they could have just found a way to just to communicate and work it out, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. And that's unfortunately, that's life. That's just life. That's just how life is. But, you know, time's supposed to be a great healer. And so it's a case of, are we going to learn from the experiences we've had in life to give us wisdom?
That's what you were trying to get at, right?
Yeah,
that was the point you were trying to get at.
Yeah. And that's what it was all about. We've all grown up. We're all grown up from. So you'd think, might become parents, homeowners, married, whatever. We've all grown up, so we've got the experience of life. So at this stage in our life, we shouldn't be making the same mistakes when we were in our 20s. We shouldn't be making the same bad decision we did then. And so it was just probably out of frustration more than anything else. But I just said I said it how I saw it.
You're loyal though. And it's understandable.
But listen, you can be fiercely loyal, but if someone does something wrong, the person you're being loyal with, you're still going to call it out, because that's not a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I'm loyal to you and you do something wrong, me not saying anything, I'm not being your friend. I'll say, yo, John, listen, blah, 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 blah. And that's what friends, that's what you do. And it's just a case of how it's viewed. Well, it's a case of I can sleep at night. And if you can sleep at night, because your mate's told you something. So being loyal with Brendan, I'm loyal because he showed me nothing but loyalty. He showed me nothing but the one thing you can't ever own is time. He gave me his time, something you can never take back. And that's probably why I was in the gym in the first place. Remember, when I went out to that gym, I was down there long enough I was there 2 years before I could actually box. I was that bad. Brendan's time and reputation, he put it on me. And then 13 amateur fights winning 3. Brendan's time and reputation, he still gave it to me. Then turning professional, losing the first round of shot. Brendan's time and reputation, he still gave it to me. Losing the first 2 world title cracks. Brendan's time and reputation, he still gave it to me. Now my man's got 30, 40 other fighters that he's got to take care of, he's got to lift, he's got to inspire. He's got a reputation of all the good work he's done, but he's still wasting his time on me. Now, if that doesn't deserve loyalty, respect and appreciation, you're a dog.
You just like throwing it in his face.
Yeah, of course, you're a dog. And to me, it don't work like that. And so it works both ways. And so, you know, I'll talk about, you know, if you class it as loyalty, but to me...
Yeah, but what's right is right is what you're saying.
Yeah, what's right is right. And the thing is, there's too many bad things happening in this world right now. We see it all over, and bigger than this, where people are just not mentioning it, not talking about it, ignoring it, pretending it's not happening. You know, too many political things are happening, too many things are happening on a biblical level. There's too many things happening where the people that, if you don't say anything, you're going to be marked down as the villain, and wrong is all of a sudden going to be classed as right. So, my words were silence is compliance.
No, I agree with you.
You've got to speak out no matter what. It doesn't just because when I talk about a fighter, I think he's going to beat him. It don't mean I don't like him. It's just like, I think he's going to beat you because X, Y, Z. Don't take that thing personal, because I might be saying about him next week. You know, depending on who he's fighting. So why can't people take that? I like straight talking. You tell me how it is. I might not like it, but at least I know where I am. You know, and I respect that. And so as we get older, we're supposed to be mature enough to be able to handle that kind of thing.
Do you think what Nash did in that situation when he's asked the question? Because I watched that TalkSport interview. Best way to deal with it, turn around and go, what's in the past is in the past. Left it alone.
Yes, but I didn't just criticise Naz, because that's done. I criticise the people that are supposed to do a job. The interviewers, the reporters, the commentators, because they're not asking questions of the answer.
They were digging.
Yeah, they weren't digging. Because I could, if they asked me something and I gave them a rubbish answer, they're not even going to say, "Hold on, Johnny, that's not right." Because your job as an investigator is to investigate. Well, explain that to me properly. They weren't doing that, and so they were happy to let this thing. They were happy to let wrong stand on a podium. You know, and so they didn't answer it. So I was probably as frustrated at all the interviewers that were aghast and happy to get an interview for not actually saying anything, as I was for the words I was hearing from the young fella.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Because just getting out what they want to hear and just expanding
what I wanted to get out of today is there's a lot of other media channels asking questions, and you've talked to some of them. But if I'm talking on this, last week I was a little bit emotional, a bit of watching the movie. And listen, the movie gets to the point of some of the situations, but it's not how I remember it. It's not how I saw it. But it gets to the point that there's a dispute and things are not right. Okay, but when I'm in the gym and I'm seeing it in the gym unfold. How can I put this? I want everyone to understand who Brendan was like. So Brendan, for me, if he was a world champion, or you was a beginner, or a disabled kid, or someone who's he's going to give you the same amount of time. Yeah. He's going to give you the same amount of time. I've seen Brendan give more time. There's been champions in the gym, and Brendan's over there with someone spending 3 hours helping him. And I wanted more of that to be shown, because...
So you saying that alone, did that not bother you? Did that not bother you that about the things that were said?
I thought the movie emphasised too much on them both being wrong. And it didn't emphasise enough on
I thought the movie did... My only issue with the movie was, and it's a kind of a compliment to both, I think it didn't depict Brendan, how smart, sharp, intelligent, it didn't show that side of Brendan. Yeah. I think with Naz, it didn't show the nice side of Naz.
No, it didn't.
So it showed more of the mean side of Naz rather than the nice side of Naz. So that was the fact. But then it had to tell us, a story had to be told, and it had to be adapted for TV. So, but because we
can't do that in 2 hours.
Was it wrong? No, it wasn't wrong. Because you're not up close and personal, then we think, oh, you're with this. But if you're someone that wasn't inside the doors of the gym, you think that's fascinating. And what I say is, you have only got a snippet of fascinating. what Brendan achieved. If that you're in fast and so, but we were privileged to be inside that circle, that circle of
You know what it
trust.
is?
It's hard to put into 2 hours, though.
I think this made the film for the armchair people.
Yeah,
Because they've heard that through the news,
Yeah.
through gossip and stuff, so they made it a film. But
Yeah, yeah. You know, I
Brendan.
was actually speaking to Rowan, the director, the producer. Nice fella, nice guy he is. Early today, and I said, why don't you do what they did on the O.J. Simpson thing? So they did the film about the docuseries about O.J. Simpson. Then after that, you go on YouTube and all the characters that were in it, you interview the real characters and you get the real story from them. You know, so it's kind of a follow-up. So you just do an interview. Well, this happened at that. Did that happen? Blah, 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 blah. And so I said to him, why don't you do that? Why don't you get all the people that were depicted in the program to get their voice on it? Because that's another docu-series on its own. Because I found that just as fascinating as the documentary itself. So he was talking about a few things and he stayed away from a lot of the stuff that's been said in the press because he's an artist. And he's like, you know what, job's been done. We produce something that I'm happy with. And so, you know, I'm not getting into that tittle tattle, which I actually rate. I actually rate because it must be hard, because my man's been working on it for years. So I actually rate how he's handling it.
The one thing the movie did come up with is it showed there was something different, something unconventional. Let me just put away, not one of them together is a perfect formula. It's just sad how it ended.
I'll tell you who didn't get more acclaim than what she should have done, and that was Alma.
Alma, yeah.
Alma Ingle, she was the true power behind the throne. So Alma Ingle, she used to give Brendan pocket money every day.
Wow. She
she'd give him pocket money every day because Brendan had no interest in money, man. You know, he's like, Alma, deal with it. You know, and she'd give him pocket money every day because she knew if a little kid came down the street to Brendan, say, yeah, go and get yourself a bag of chips. And he'd give it away. And so and if it wasn't there, he had to, it's like, Brendan, there's no money in your pockets. And so she knew he gave it away. And so in the film, it didn't show how smart, how powerful, how on it, how much influence she had in all of this, in all of the fighters. She was Brendan's moral, she was the reasoning of
the moral compass.
Yeah, the moral compass. Saying, look at this. You know, look at it different. Remember, you're not just a coach to those young lads. You're a man. You're a father. You're a husband. And I can remember Brendan when he. You go in his house, we've got all these books in the house. And Brendan, and I'd laugh and he'd say, because he said his reading wasn't brilliant. So he'd get a book and he'd read it. Alma, what does this mean?
Yeah, I see it.
Right? Yeah. And he to the day he died, he kept doing that. And now I'm like, oh, Brendan, dictionary out. And so it'd take him like 2 days to read a book. He could read it one day, you know. But she was the powerhouse. She was a mother of 5, and she loved all of her kids regardless. So therefore, she had to not only be a mother but be a wife and be a surrogate mother to all those nutters in the gym, and make sure we didn't take advantage of her husband. You know, because of his nice side. So she got a little snippet. I can't remember the name of the lady that acted as Alma, but
she looked like her a little bit.
But people seem to just slip over that, and so I just think big props to Alma Ingle who passed away.
But I think why they didn't put it in is because it's been too much for the film. I think there's.
I understand. That's what I'm saying.
It needed to be more of a TV show.
I understand.
Like a series.
But I understand. So it was hard for everybody to get relatable to all the characters. So I understand that. But we know this because we know. Anybody that doesn't know, they'll still appreciate it. But because they don't know. And I think Rowan did a good job. With what he had, and I'm quite sure there was a lot left on the cutting room floor that he'd love to have used, but he couldn't use. I remember Brendan wanted to write a book many years ago, but there were that many branches to that tree, it was almost near impossible for him to do it.
The only couple of things I didn't like about the movie was, like, when you're in the gym, like, there's a couple of things that define Brendan to me. One is his time, we've talked about that. The other is his unconventional way of getting you to understand how to be a good person. Like, I finished training. He knows I've walked all the way from Darnell because I was poor back then, right? So I walked from Darnell to the gym, and he knew that, right? And then he'd say to me, that was in the morning, so I'd walk across 7 a.m. So I'm setting off at like 5:30, get there for 7, do my boxing. And then he knows I've got a next session at 3 o'clock, but he's like, I need you to help me do the streets, clear up the streets. Yeah. And sometimes I clear up the streets with him. And you start with a joyful heart, don't you? And then it gets to like 1 o'clock, and I'm like, I'm not rested, I'm tired. And then he puts me back on the lines at 3 o'clock, you know what I mean? And, but he's testing you.
Yeah, of course it's testing
building your character.
I can remember Brendan.
He's seeing how you handle things. He's doing it to see how getting it.
And the thing is how cost effective it was. There was a place called Jim's Calf. Yeah. Jim's Greasy Spoon Calf. It was near Meadowhall, where it is now, just on the roundabout. And Brendan said, you can survive on £5 a day. Right then, he said, go down to Jim's Calf for breakfast in the morning, get yourself an omelette, toast and some beans, £2. He said, get yourself a glass of milk or water.
I remember these stories.
You go back down at lunchtime in the afternoon, you can get yourself a nice bit of chicken pie or something like that, and chips. Yeah. He said, you can survive. And that was Brendan. That was Brendan. And anybody used to go down to Jim's Calf on there near Meadowhall, you know, they remember Brendan bringing us in there. I don't know if he's still there actually. You remember Brendan bringing his fighters in there, and it was just those little things that people just don't get.
That's life.
You know, this guy, life skills.
Yeah.
You know what I learned?
Unconventional.
Yeah, I learned, and I learned. I did something with my daughter and my granddaughter, and I smiled. I thought, where's that come from? So India, my middle daughter, she was like me when she was younger. She was a bit shy. You know, she didn't approach people, and she was uncomfortable if too many people around. I was like that too. Yeah. And India, whereas Bailey, the baby, was like really forthright and she was going. So India would make friends on the back of Bailey as a kid coming through, even though she was older than her. And India, I thought we've got to pull this out of her and get her just to talk to people, because she just got that resting bitch face when but she's not. She's just like, she's a pretty girl that just don't talk. And so there was a hairdresser's near where we lived. And I went into the hairdressers and gave the woman 20 quid. I said, right, I'm going to send my daughter in here for a job. I said, would you give her this 20 quid every Saturday? Just get her to sweep up and make cups of tea. Because I knew what Brendan did when with me. Brendan used to go make work on the doors in Hillsborough to deal with people, have people skills. Yeah. Anyway, I got home, said to India, look, you go get a job, India, come on. Get yourself a part-time job. What shall I do? I said, well, there's a paper shop, it might be raining, this. And I picked all these things, there's a hairdresser down the road, and I kept my hairdresser down the road, kept bringing in the conversation, hairdresser down the road. And so she's thinking she's making a decision. I went, go down there, just ask see if there's anything. She went in, asked for a job. I told the woman not to say what was going on. Yeah. Dad, I've got a job on, yes! Jeez. So every Saturday India's going in, she's sweeping up, she's making cups of tea, but she's talking to the adults in there, so she's now become...
Life skills.
She's getting that, she's becoming more confident. Yeah. And I smiled to myself and I thought, this went for about 6 months, I'm just dropping. And this woman said, look, you don't have to pay me, I'll pay her directly. Wow. But this is what parents can do. Yeah. Now, this is something so simple that Brendan did with my granddaughter. At 5 years old, she had a party. And when she was 5, and we was at this party, and in one of those bouncy places, and she said, Granny, can I have a drink and some ice cream? So I took £5 out. She's 5. You look at kids now, I didn't know what I said, here. You go and buy it, and I'm watching you, and make sure you bring my change back. Right? So now she's thinking, she's 5. She's thinking she's got money. You think about it, how many 5-year-olds you make handle money and start to think for themselves? So I'm sat there making out as I'm watching like that. I'm watching her, watch her go there, and then she's talking to the guy. She kept talking to me, looking back. So she's not thinking I'm looking, talking to the guy, looking back at me. I look back, so I carried on, and then I seen one of her mates come up. And they start talking. So now from buying one ice lolly and a drink, she's buying 2 ice lollies, 2 drinks for a spa. And I'm like, change back. But what I'm saying is she came back with a little bit of change. The point was, I did a trick what Brendan did on us. You know, I made her think. Schools teach you to remember. Brendan taught us to think.
Yeah.
You know, and so make you and if you can think, it takes you around the world. And so even parents watching this, do little unorthodox things like Brendan did with us. You know, to make you think. You know what?
That's why mum and dad brought me up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to send me out, say go shopping.
Yeah. But they don't do that now.
And give you a long list.
It's
and
different,
you got to know what you're picking up.
Yeah.
And you go there and you start thinking in your head, right, if I pick this up, I could have some change, like for pocket money for
like
myself.
like Jack and the Beast.
I try to get it cheaper and everything. And I'll come back with some change.
Yeah.
And
So that's what I'm saying. My hustle at school, I didn't smoke, but mum gives £1 a day for dinner. So you had sandwiches or dinner. So my hustle at school, I